Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for coming on the podcast chat. Thanks for your time.
Thanks very much for having me.
No worries. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Hyundai Country Calendar. I must have watched almost all the seasons till date, so I know how. So I can visualize living on a farm, but it's not an easy task, right? Like living and working in a farm which is right 1100 hectares,
Yep, that's right.
and then raising a family and then having a business and helping run the farm as well, so a lot of things should be going on.
Yeah, that's right. We're actually shearing today, and I'm cooking for the shearers, so there is a lot going on. It never ends.
Yes, yes, yes. But how did you get to starting this business? What was
So
your inspiration?
so I'm a school teacher by trade, and I was teaching up in the North Island in the Wairarapa. And the principal of the school put me through a photography course so I could teach it as a class to the intermediate students. And so that's when I discovered my passion for photography. I actually thought I really enjoyed this, so I got myself a good camera and started doing it on the side. And then we then moved down onto the family farm down here in Canterbury, and we have all these beautiful animals all around us and everything. And I thought really wanted to have a really big print of a Highland cow actually on my wall. So I went out and took one, and I got it printed and I got it framed. And a lot of my friends really loved it and asked me if I could do it for them. So I, went and took some photos for them, and that got them printed, and they put it on their walls and everything. And everyone was really excited about it, and I thought I might just create a little hobby Facebook page with all my photographs. And I did this, and the page just really took off. And so it wasn't really meant to be a business, but it became a business. People asked if they could buy them, and so I created a website, and it all happened very quickly. And my Facebook page grew by the thousands, and I think I'm not sure 45,000 or something like that followers now. Yeah, so that's how the business began, and I'm not teaching anymore. I'm doing this full time.
So yes, it's pretty much exploded, right? It's
Yeah.
just wildfire. uh, yeah, so it's interesting to see the kind of images that you have, but how did you arrive at this kind of style? Was it like you just tweaking it and kind of figured it out, or was there an inspiration for you for this kind of look?
So I think when I did the one for myself, I took this photograph of a Highland bull, and I just decided that to make him stand out on the wall, to put a bit of a dark background behind him. And it did really make, I think that's what really made him pop. And
Yeah.
it made people stop when they were scrolling when they saw that. So I did do a lot of my photographs with that kind of style, or the opposite, I would do it with just a plain white background. Um, and it just seemed to be what was really popular, what the Facebook audience loved. So I just I stuck with that. But I do also do now, a range of lots of things, normal photographs, landscapes, seascapes. I just, because there is a market for everything. So I just yeah, broaden my horizons now.
Right. And how did the book come about? Uh,
Well, I used to get a lot of my customers asking me if I would make a coffee table book. I actually created one myself that just kind of like a portfolio, and I had it out. I was up in Auckland for Art in the Park, and I had one out as a display, and I had lots of people ask if they could buy it, and it wasn't for sale. It was just something I did for myself. But I thought, well, it would be something I should do like a coffee table book. Um, and so my marketing manager that I had at the time, he said, well, if you're going to do this, why don't we just see, if we could maybe get it published? And I was like, "Oh, okay." I wasn't really thinking that that would be something I would do, but I thought, well, it's not gonna hurt to ask. So, we started off with Penguin, Books New Zealand, and, um, yeah, they just rang back and they were really keen, and I had an interview with them, and they signed me up. So it was all a bit, yeah, I was in shock, really. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening." So, I had a year to put it all together, and, I thought a year was I was wanting to do it then and there and get it done, but, it those things take a long time. So, and I'm in the end, I'm really glad it was a year because it did take me a long time to. I had lots of images already, but I also wanted to create new ones, and yeah,
Yeah, and it's something about seeing your work on paper, something that's quite tangible, because it's all about pixels these days, and having it printed is a completely different feeling. Like you can actually touch and feel it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's right, and to have all my images all in, like, well, it's all my cattle images basically, all put together like that in a nice book. It makes a really nice gift as well for people, and, um, yeah, I'm really glad I've done it.
And how's the response been for your book?
Yeah, really good. It was released last September. It came out in the bookstores, and
Yeah.
Um, it was a great time of the year to release a book for, for Father's Day, for Christmas, and it's been really popular. And I'm still, every day I'm still selling them online, and getting them shipped out. So it's a
So, but
really good.
how does it work? Because it's your connectivity is not that great because you're in the rural side, and running a business like this from a farm must have its own sort of challenges, right?
Major challenges. The whole internet thing has been my biggest challenge, but because when you're talking about photographs and you're uploading photographs, and you're talking a high resolution file, so they're massive. So it's so slow. It just takes such a long time. And then you'll be halfway through uploading, and then the internet will drop out, and then it will stop and you have to start again. So that's been the biggest challenge. The rural delivery service is great. I'm able to book the couriers to come here, and they come and collect whatever I'm shipping out and at my door. So that's been great. Um, but one of the biggest things that is the printing companies that I use drop ship for me. So
Right,
I put my order through online, and they send it out from their headquarters themselves straight to the customer. And that's been a lifesaver,
right.
because when I first started, I didn't do that. I was getting all the prints sent to my house, and I was rolling them out, checking them. It was an absolute nightmare because my children were little. Like, my youngest was 2 years old, so I'd have to wait until they were asleep, so they would not be anywhere near these prints. And I just had these prints everywhere, and it'd be late at night, and my husband would be the last thing he'd feel like doing, but he'd have to help, so he was there rolling me. We'd get into arguments and things like that, and it's like, "Oh, this is stressful." But, yeah, luckily, yeah, the printers drop shipping has just been a lifesaver.
So the whole thing is right now automated through Shopify or something like that, right? So,
Yeah, I don't. I still put the orders through straight to the printer
uh,
myself. I don't have it
okay,
connected, mainly because I sell it to Australia, to the US, and things like that. I've got different printers everywhere.
right.
Um, yeah, so I don't want like 6 different printers all connected to my store. So I still just do that part myself. Yeah, and
But
then also,
how do
if
you keep how do you keep the quality consistent across so many different printers?
I have to check. So the printers that I've been with in New Zealand, I'll always check. I've been with them for years now, and they're really good to me. They will, if there's something that's happened to the print, they would let me know before sending it out, and so we'll just do another one. Um, so with all the printers overseas, I would get printer test sample first to get it sent to me, and I'll
Right.
check it. And it's just basically matching it up to what I'm doing here. So it's exact same paper, the same printers, everything. Yeah. So that's how I check the quality control.
I understand that because I mean I work for a printer as well, and normally taking photographs and then taking that photographs and then matching it to your printer, and color matching and all of that is a completely different ball game. So how did you then o- overcome that kind of challenge, because what you see is sometimes is not what you get when you print.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, I mean, now I've got these printers that I know match my colors, and that
Right,
was just really trial and error, and, that yeah, I'm just sticking with them now, not to try and make things too complicated.
right,
I have tried using a company that print some of my prints onto the back of, cell phones, like cell phone covers,
right,
and
right,
they were drop shipping, and then I got them sent to myself first because I wanted to check the quality. It got lost in the mail, and then they sent me another one, but then the one that got lost ended up showing up. So I got 2, but they were
right,
both of them were the same print, but absolutely different quality and different colors, and it was terrible. It's like, "Well, I can't do this because I don't know what my customer's getting." This one's getting this one, and it's not the right colors, and because they're just using different, printers all around the world, and so I've
right,
just
right, right.
scratched that. It's just too tricky. Yeah.
So how's the having having photography as sort of a weekend passion, and then having a photography business is a completely different thing. So how did you sort of make that transition? And then the other thing is, you're known for a certain type of imagery, and sometimes what happens is as you grow as an artist, you want to experiment with different kind of looks and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it may not work with the business, or what you or your brand, so to speak. So how do you sort of um, tackle those kind of issues?
Well, to start with, the first part was, when I created the business, but it was a hobby, but it turned into a business itself. Um, and it got a little bit too much for me to handle. That's when I started looking into getting like a marketing company, and also like just a bookkeeper and things like that. Because my sales were international, um, it just was easier just to get somebody who knows what they're doing on that side of things. You know,
Right,
um, so that those I worked out what's going to help me the most with my time instead of me spending all my Friday doing the books. I worked out I would be better off paying somebody to do that for me, um, and me working on the other stuff. Otherwise it would take me a whole lot longer to do. So I'm actually, wasting more money me trying to do it myself. And then on the your to answer your second question, um, I think you've also like I think when I started the whole Highland cow thing became such a big trend, and you'd see it, that you see the Highland cows everywhere. And now if you go into your Kmarts and your warehouse and things like that, they're everywhere. Um, and they're just being imported from China. So I think it was such a big trendy thing, and I've got to create new ideas because those trends are going to be dying out, and there's going to be new things, um and not everybody likes pictures of cows. So you've got to broaden your horizon and you know your customer base as well by, people love my botanicals, but they don't like the cows. So I do botanicals as well for those people, and people like the beach, and yeah, just
right,
try and
right, right.
keep coming up with new prints all the time.
Yeah, and that kind of leads to my next question, because uh, it's a no, people don't understand what goes on behind setting up a photography business, in the sense that they think must be having lots of fun, etc. They just see the beautiful output at the end. They don't see what goes behind it,
Yeah.
right? And it's because photography is such a thing that everybody, cameras are cheap these days, so many people getting into photography, and people think, and if a bunch of people say, hey, your photographs are nice, and they immediately think, oh, now I should become photographer. But
Yes.
how do you then uh, uh, when you go about building a photography business, what are the key things that you think one should keep in mind? Because why I'm asking you is this is your your ads really stood out on Facebook to me, because that's the reason I started following you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what do you think you did right in order for your business to sort of go viral this way?
I think that when I started is I would with Facebook, I would always have my images in a mock-up, like an in situ situation, so people could see what it would actually look like in a room. I think that made a huge difference for people, so they could visualize what it would be and what it would look like. Um, so and then I would get a lot of people asking me, "How do I do that?" Because they wanna do that as well, for their photography and things like that. So I think that's been a big thing, and also at the start, running giveaways and things like that helped because you'd get, new audiences that hadn't heard of you that get, tagged or, you're not allowed to do that on Facebook anymore though. So things have changed things have
Right,
changed dramatically on Facebook to when I first started. You could say to somebody, "You need to share this post to enter," or you have to tag somebody to enter, but you're not allowed to do that anymore. So I think I was lucky that I had timed that. When I started, you were able to do that. So I was able to get a bigger audience.
right. But how did you decide on the sizes? Because your prints are pretty huge, right? It's not a small things that you sell. It's all really massive.
Yeah, yeah.
So how did you decide on those kind of sizes? Was it like just people just asked for those kind of sizes, or was it intentional?
No, because it was what I wanted on my wall is I wanted a huge print on my wall myself. So, and I think that's probably what caught people's their attention as well was these prints were massive. So I wanted them to be statement pieces, and I think that's what's kind of been a little bit different to my business as well compared to others. Is the
Right,
size,
right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. And where all have you your prints hanging? Like, is it like just New Zealand, Australia, or is it other countries as well?
Yeah, I've got them. I mean, people have bought them from the UK, from yeah, France, Switzerland, um, even Saudi Arabia, in the States. I've got them in like restaurants in
Right,
Minnesota, a Texas brewery have them. So um, yeah, I have. That's why I've had to kind of find printers overseas because it was costing me. I wasn't making any money selling prints overseas because by the time I would ship these prints over there, and then I would be like 0 profit. So, I had to, yeah, come up with printers over there, and it's been a challenge because also paying for printers over in the States, for example, um, you're converting the New Zealand dollar to the US dollar, it's really expensive. So,
right.
um, so that's been a challenge. So I've had to create a US based website
Okay,
that's for the US market. So it's in US dollars and matching what it cost me to print it over there and also have it in sizes that they know over there. Whereas over here, I have it in most of my prints are in A sizes, but
right,
they don't know what that is over there. So that was been a learning experience because they would receive the print, they would order an A3, for example, and even though I had it as an example of what those sizes would mean, they would then get disappointed when they received an A3 because they was like,
right,
"Oh, I didn't realize that an A3 is this small." So they say, "Okay, I need to rethink this," and then I did everything in inches for that
right,
market. Yeah, yeah. So it's been a massive learning curve.
right. So, like you said, I mean, the landscape has kind of changed when you actually started this. This AI is coming,
Mm,
generative AI has come in. How do you think the landscape is going to change? Like how because I see so many pictures completely generated with AI and it's mind blowing.
I
Right,
know. Like it is mind blowing, and I'm really worried about what it's going to do now. Because, yeah, anyone could just type in whatever they want now, and they just get it on their screen within seconds. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that
yeah,
pans
because
out.
I actually using Adobe Firefly, I just put in uh, create a long exposure shot of of sunset on a wharf, in Auckland, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, the output was just amazing. Like, yeah,
I know. I know.
it was
It's a
pretty
worry.
crazy.
It is a worry. Oh, um, I mean, my only thing is if people are doing that, can they, they get those images, but can they print them to those huge pieces of art? I don't think they could at this
Right,
stage because I
right,
don't think
right,
the resolution is high enough. So that's that's all I can think of that I've got going for me with versing AI at the moment.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing is, number one is copyright. People are, uh,
Mm.
the machine learning, it has to go somewhere to learn all those images, right?
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
And recently, Photoshop has released a beta version of Photoshop with the generative AI built in,
Yes.
and I've been testing that out. Like, you can expand the canvas.
Yeah.
You know, if you take a close up and then you want a landscape, you can just expand it and it'll just expand it. So I mean, there are good ways of using it, but then you always have bad actors, right? So it is
Yeah.
sort of a minefield, I
Mm.
suppose. Uh,
Yeah.
especially with copyright for
Yeah.
the content that you create.
Yep, that's right. I mean, I've had problems with copyright in the past, before the whole AI thing came about, but I've had, stores. Basically, what happened is I was scrolling on Pinterest and I saw one of my prints on there, and I was like, "Oh, that's my print," and it was um, someone in a homeware store in the States was selling it, and I was like, "Hang on a minute. How are you selling my print? I'm not giving it to you. I'm not getting any money for this." And then I contacted them and they said they're getting it from their supplier. And I was like, okay, well, who's
Wow.
your supplier? Anyway, it was from China, and it was she told me the website, and then I went onto the website, and then oh my god, my prints were everywhere, everywhere, and then you could see where they're being sold to. They were selling them for so cheap, and it wasn't your fine art paper, and um, but yeah, I was devastated, and now I go onto that site and they pop back up again because I tried to contact all these different places and said, "Look, you've stolen my work and, you're selling them around the world, which is a bit unfair." Yeah, so I mean, most of them took it down, but then they just, they go and pop it back up again, and
So
you
you
can't.
could do, can't you do any, like, is there any legal protection against stuff like that? Can you can't take
Oh,
legal action?
are you going it's you're going against China and,
Right.
I mean, if Louis Vuitton can't beat
Right.
them, I don't think I can. So, I've just given up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose so. Right, right, right.
yeah,
There's a whole market for it in Hong Kong,
yeah, yeah,
for such kind of stuff. Right. But
yeah.
but I mean, once your work becomes sort of viral and trendy, then you have other people, or other people trying to imitate what you do, and a lot of lookalikes in the market, right? Like, so how did you how do you deal with that? Because it's art, right? So, and it's
Mm,
very easy to sort of replicate stuff.
yeah.
uh, yes.
It ha it's happened a lot, and I've seen businesses come and go.
Right.
They've started it, and I often get a lot of my followers contact me and they're, saying, "Hey, this person's doing this." And I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. And then you just got to, people say imitations a form of flattery, the biggest form of flattery
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. I used to get really upset about it, but now I try not to even think about it because it is still happening. And I mean, I guess that's just life. That's just what happens.
Right,
So,
right, right, right.
um, yeah, I've just got to keep coming up with new content and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So how you plan to sort of take this by the horns brand and grow it? Like, what does it have in future?
So I'm trying to. I've always got photos. opportunities coming ahead that I've got in my mind that I know I'm going to go and do. But also, I am expanding into using my prints onto other products.
Right.
So I've got lots of things I'm being developed at the moment, and
Right.
I'm hoping that they will all, like most of them, will be out by this year, before
Right.
Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at different ways that I can utilize my prints and get them out there that aren't just photographs because times are tough at the moment and
Right.
large the printers all printers have had to increase their costs and the frames they've increased their costs as well. So everything is getting really expensive. People have less money. So I'm looking at other ways that I can get my prints onto things that aren't as expensive. Not necessarily wool art, but yeah, like
Right.
cushions and things like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like textiles,
Yeah.
garments,
Yeah.
drapery, those sort of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense. But won't you have to sort of reformat your work to fit those kind of products?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's quite an expensive journey because you have to get, you know, lots of samples made and they
Right.
are coming from overseas. Um, yeah, and it is quite expensive and you have to get the samples because I've had samples done and like, oh gosh, no, that's not what I had in mind, colors are wrong and all that kind of stuff. But then you find the right one and then yeah, you work from there.
Right. And I also saw your other website, which is your Amanda King Photography website. Do
Yes.
you still do the other, portraits and
No,
children?
I did so that was what I was doing while I was teaching. I was doing that on the
Right.
side and, yeah, I just don't have the time to do both now. I can't do
Right.
either one than that, but although saying that, if someone did come and approach me and said, "I would love a portrait session," I would still do it, but I don't actively promote it anymore.
Right. Right. And yeah, so how does it feel to have a hobby and then it becoming such a successful business? What's the I mean, it's I'm sure you must not have expected to this going to this level.
No, no. I mean, I just feel really lucky because I'm doing something that I loved, that I love doing. So, and having little kids, I'm able to work from home and work around them, and I'm my own boss. Um, yeah, so I'm really lucky. So I really hope that, the world is changing so much, and I really hope that I can keep this business going.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. So, just to close off this conversation, what will you say to someone who wants to sort of start something like this in the visual arts field, um, uh, not just in photography? What will be your piece of advice?
Probably just to have an open mind, um, because what sometimes you think might work, might not work, and something that you didn't expect to work might work, So um, you just never know what's going to happen, really. I couldn't have told you that I was going to create a book, you know, 3 years ago. I wouldn't have thought I would have got one published. Um, and I wouldn't, there's images out there that I have taken and I did as a laugh. I put it on my social media as a laugh. Um, and now they're my number one selling prints.
Right.
So, which I did not expect. So that's why I say you keep an open mind because you just don't know what people want and what they like. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amanda. It was great talking to you. Yeah, amazing, amazing to hear your story, and I'm sure lots of people will be inspired by your example to follow their passion,
Yeah, I hope
whatever
so.
you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for having me.